Hello, kids. We should be coming to you now. We are getting started. You might hear Mike finishing his snack. You don't need to worry about that. Let Mikey snack.
My pecan bread. Should have gotten muffins.
That's what we say on the show.
Yeah, cupcakes what he had.
Okay. Let's take a look here. Go there, properties. There we go. That's something approaching natural. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Let's hit it. All right, everybody. We are
Watching Naruto.
just need to get. Ooh, you know that's a pretty good anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard.
Pretty good. Let's hit this.
Got my teeth cleaned today. Good thing I'm eating this sugar-coated pastry now.
What was I gonna do? Oh yes, let me get the music set up.
Music
Green
set
deck.
up.
Nintendogs.
Hey, you guys hear me?
My other fancy Uniqlo shirts came in today. Oh, shit. I told you. I think I complained to you about this. My Lipton green tea got this case. The caps are on too tight.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah,
there we
we
go.
did complain about this.
Woo, that hurt. I think I've complained about that to anybody who will listen.
All right, chat. You heard that? Mike, you heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Hey,
I guess
Over the
so.
pain.
Okay.
Okay. Around.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something.
Mike, you know about that song?
Yeah, he was in the chat when we talked about it after the bombcast today.
You
Wait,
get
I was singing the Cody Rhodes theme song. Are you talking about that weird song that guy has sex to?
Yes.
Yeah, I was singing Cody Rhodes theme song. Yeah, that just happens to sound like Cody Rhodes song. Look, I'm gonna also think that this is the reveal for an Echo the Dolphin game. You keep playing it. Put it through the.
Yeah,
put it
you
underwater. Put it underwater.
Slow it down.
Chef, you forgot to tell the funniest
Yeah,
part
I
of
don't-
that story.
I'm like afraid to believe that part of it. That he kept having sex to that beat, and she could tell
At that bit,
he was-
and she could it's like, nah, we're
she
done.
could tell that he was listening to it in his head still, and so she broke up with him.
Okay,
That's-
well, yeah.
That's
We need
too
the other
precious.
songs because he had a playlist. We need
Yeah.
to find the other songs on that playlist.
Oh, nothing could be better.
And what's wrong with
Shout
Let's
out to
Get It
Stuart.
On? Just do that.
Oh, you saw a kind of funny video that Greg did. That's funny.
Yes, I did. Okay. I'm here, Mike. Talk.
Mike's talking. Mike talks. Mike gets loud sometimes, but sometimes he usually just talks like this. But I get
And then I
excited
talk like this, and I
yell.
talk like this, and I could turn myself up just a touch. Just a scotch.
I never get excited. Other than the Sivat song.
You Argentinians, you're all mediums and lows.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing happened here since last podcast. So it's fine.
There's
Nothing
this.
happened in my country.
There is that. I think we're ready to start, Mike.
Somebody said, "Thank you for breaking the news in the podcast the other day on my stream." Like,
Wait, breaking what news?
the news about my BP.
Oh, right.
Remember?
God, that's right. Yes. Right. Yes. Of course. Yes.
Oh, the vice
Incredible.
president.
Yeah, incredible.
That was fun.
All right, Mike, you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you
Did
ready?
Sweet?
No,
Jeff?
no, of course not. I can do that. I can do that right now, in fact. Here's the tweet music, everybody.
Jesus Christ.
I want a 10-hour cut of this song. Oh my god, it keeps going. Okay, stop.
This song fucking sucks.
They're gonna do a Fortnite dance for sure.
Oh yeah.
They better.
And
There'd
it's
be a
just
lot
good-
of
what, it's just a
gyrating and thrusting involved in
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. I'm ready. Let's do this. Now Mike's ready. Now he's got that out of his system. Everyone, hit that like button.
Spell some demons.
Hit that like button. It'll get people watching. All right. I'm counting down. We're gonna hit record. You ready?
Like.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, we're getting a new Pokemon trailer tomorrow. We're talking about other non-Nintendo retro franchises like Joe and Mac that we want to see make a comeback. And I imagine people are going to yell at us about a Nintendo Direct stuff. So we'll get to that all very soon. Jeff, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Just been hanging, been chilling, been playing a lot of Excite Bike 64 on my Retroid Pocket 3. That's most of the Nintendo stuff I've been doing this week. Been enjoying that. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good long weekend. I'm like ready to settle in for the short week. Mike, I think I've discovered I don't like short weeks. Only the long weekend matters. Getting your hopes up about the short week, about a 4-day week after a long weekend,
Yeah.
It always feels long. For the last several times, it has felt like a long week to me.
I guess I never really thought about it too much like that. If it's like, there's always one weekend at school, we got like a Friday and a Monday off, and it would be a 3-day school week. That would always feel good.
Yes, that would be
4-day,
cool.
You're right. Doesn't make too much of a difference, I guess.
Because we're coming in hot on a Tuesday. We're like, oh man, we're like
Coming in hot.
We're catching up on
Tuesday's your
work.
busy day.
Yeah,
I mean, you've already podcasted for 4 hours today, and now you're about to do this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I think we try to fit 5 days worth of work into 4 days, so it ends up feeling very long. And who knows if like stuff could pop off. I don't necessarily think Nintendo's going to announce anything this week, but Sony could. I mean, and it could just be.
Well, we already have stuff happening on Friday already.
What do we have happening on Friday?
And Saturday. Friday is the Disney thing.
Disney thing and Ubisoft thing on Saturday. So yeah, it's like things are happening to look forward to. So it's like, okay, kind of no rest for the very wicked over here. Yeah, cool dudes. Yeah,
well, Borderlands 1.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm pretty good. I had a pretty nice long weekend. I got to get some cleaning done Monday, which is, I always wait way too long to clean. And every time I do it and I finish it, it improves like my mood and like just everything so much more if I'm like sleeping in a clean room and all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
for real.
I wish I was less of a baby about it and it just did it more. Or I wish I could pay somebody to do it for me more regularly.
I know, me
or
too.
Ever.
Yeah, I was like kind of getting to a point where I could afford it, and then we bought a house. And now I'm like, I can't afford that anymore. Shit, and I got a lot of space now. That would be very, very cool if I could have someone to come over and clean. I guess I can maybe set up once a month just to make sure it's like it doesn't get out of hand, right? That would be nice. Maybe I should just do that and like bite the bullet and do that. I realized like I really like having my wife not work. Because it's like, okay, she worked so hard for so many years when the kids were young, and now it's like, oh, she's around and can help with stuff, and this is great. But then it's like, well, we have significantly less money, so I'm like, okay, maybe I could stream more. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ways to make money, so it's like, okay, we'll see.
Should have married me.
Yeah, exactly. Mike,
We could have combined our incomes.
Made of money, yeah. Mike, someone asked me this, and I need to ask you, are you afraid of apples because you think if you eat an apple a day, it would keep your dad away because he's a doctor?
No, I don't think that's it. I have no idea where that started. There is a video of me as a very young child eating an apple, so at some point I did it in my life, and then at some point I just like decided, no, that's gross, and my parents... I must have been so obnoxious that my parents didn't push the matter anymore and just got to a point where I became afraid of them. So no idea. Some people have thought it's that. Some people have thought it's because, I'm such a Disney person. I saw Snow White and got afraid of apples.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know what it is, Jeff.
Fair enough.
Well, Jeff, not a whole lot of news here, like I said, but I bet people will have some good questions for us from the Patreon community, and I bet that we are going to get some super chats, which you can send if you are listening to the show live. We will read all super chats on the air. If you are watching live, please do hit that like button. It helps more people find the show, and we always appreciate that. So Jeff, first thing here, Nintendo has announced that the Mario Kart Tour mobile game is getting rid of its gacha mechanics. It's not just going to have a more traditional store. It's also going to have microtransactions and all that stuff, and it has a premium currency. But it's no longer gacha-y, which is a little surprising. Gacha is a big part of Fire Emblem Heroes. It's like easily most popular mobile game, and it worked really well there. You can kind of see maybe why that wouldn't work as well in a Mario Kart kind of situation, I suppose.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I wonder if it's like this just makes it easier to support the game longer in case like regulations change or whatever. It feels like Mario Kart can just coast now. Fire Emblem feels like an active, ongoing thing.
That's cute, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much. But Mario Kart, while it seems like it has a lot of content like ready to go, according to data miners, it also feels like they're not going to do a ton of extra work on top of that. It feels like they might just run through that content. And so in order to make that as cheap as possible, they're probably just like, okay, let's just make a store that requires minimum amount of input from developers, and let's put out that content on a regular cadence sort of automatically and just call it a day. To me, it feels like sort of wrapping things up without having to actually wrap up a game that is probably still fairly profitable.
What is like this? What's your sense of how successful Mario Kart Tour was? It seems like it did fine, and yet there's also, it's Mario Kart. If something should be a giant mobile, like a super big mobile hit, like, whoa, it's more popular than Candy Crush. As difficult as that might be, but even approaching that, you think maybe it could have been Mario Kart?
Yeah, I think that they probably were disappointed while also making a lot of money from it, like in that weird zone of the spectrum where it's like these two circles overlap, where it made lots of money. It didn't make as much money as we were hoping. I think that's pretty typical for where Nintendo's at on mobile, though. So they're probably also not too surprised that they've ended up here. So yeah, I think they probably won't go rushing into trying something like this again with Mario Kart. They're like, no, we are fine making the money that this thing can make. But to make it make sense, we probably do have to just pull back on a few levers and a few investments and just focus on what makes sense. Because, if this was about getting rid of gacha mechanics across all their stuff, yeah, you're right. Fire Emblem Heroes would have been included in that, but it's not. So I expect that to remain the same because it's much more lucrative, just based on what it is.
At least it wasn't as much of a kind of left fart as Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Again, a game that you think would be pretty well suited to mobile, and nobody really cared.
Yeah, I guess it probably still has an audience, or at least it maybe found an audience after some time, but it's, nothing compared to what it did on console, nothing compared to Fire Emblem. It's just, a wet fart.
Jeff, Ubisoft has announced that Tencent has acquired a 49.9% minority stake in the Guillemot. Is that right? Guillemot Brothers Limited, and has entered into concert with the company's founders. Basically, Tencent now owns even more of the company, getting, I think, their stock directly from that family. I always call them that family now, as if they're in the mob or something. 49.9 minority stake. That's about as much as you can have and still be considered a minority stake, huh?
Yeah, I haven't had time to go through the story. Like you said, I've been podcasting a lot today. I didn't even have time to look at the Cyberpunk stuff, really. I'm guessing the Guillemot Brothers Limited is the company that then owns the stock in Ubisoft is probably how it works. So it's this is a roundabout way of attaching themselves to the controlling interest of Ubisoft. Yeah, this feels like you're right. They're making as big of an investment as they possibly can while still letting the people who have been controlling Ubisoft continue to control Ubisoft. And I think that Tencent will be fine with that. They want to be in a position where they have a lot of investments and they don't have a lot of micromanaging to do. That's not the way Chinese investment typically works. So yeah, I think that we will continue to see Ubisoft mostly operating as it has. Maybe this helps them get some more games into China, but really that process, it's not like Tencent has some magic wand. If you work with Tencent, you'll get to go in China, no problem. A lot of Tencent's games don't get approved in China right away. People have this imaginary idea that Tencent is a part of the Chinese government, and that is just not right at all. The Chinese Communist Party is very much skeptical of video games and is on psychological level. They're like, this might be the antithesis of what we want the party to be. And so,
right, like they have a philosophical problem with it.
Yes, and so it's like Tencent's in like this really not precarious, but this weird position where they are profitable, they are an important representative of Chinese business, and that makes them valuable, but they're not some wing of the government. That's just wrong. So yeah, like this might help Ubisoft a little bit, but not that much in China. So really, this is just about Guillemot brothers being able to cash out and have and be like strategically positioned where they are probably getting a lot of money from this, and yet they could still try to like be in control. And if they need to pull the parachute, well, Tencent is now fully invested, essentially fully invested, and would have to take over to make that investment make sense if the Guillemot brothers left. And like, okay, now this is in Tencent's hands. They need to figure this out. So it just kind of puts more pieces in play for figuring out what the future of Ubisoft is going to look like.
Yeah, do you think that's what you're talking about with China and like, that government's like just philosophical problem with games? You think that's like just super ingrained in their culture? It's going to be there forever? Or is that a generational thing? And in maybe 15 years, we're going to see like this even bigger explosion where, new people come up. They don't have that problem with games because they grew up playing them. It's fine. And we're going to see that market get even more wild.
I think it's mostly a generational thing. I think it's generational within the structure of what the Communist Party sees itself as, and that's how it's manifesting. But I think it mostly comes from an old guard that grew up in a place where you were Communist Party first, and then all these other ways of expressing yourself in culture have popped up, and among them being like the loudest and brashest is video games in a lot of way. And so they are trying to like put a rein on that, but that also, it feels very similar. People always want to like other these things. It feels very similar to the backlash against video games in the 90s in the United States.
Yes.
And this is gonna pass, and younger people are going to get into positions of power, and they are going to recognize the value of embracing the cultural power of video games.
They're going to get bought by the Embracer Group?
And they're going to get bought by the Embracer Group. That's right.
Or Joe Lieberman?
They're going to get bought by Joe Lieberman.
Is he still alive?
I think so. I don't think you can kill Joe Lieberman.
What a ghoul.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. So tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific, we are getting a new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Jeff, where are you at with this? You're far from the biggest Pokemon fan in the world. Do you have any excitement for Scarlet and Violet?
I have some. I'm mostly excited to see what my friends who are fans of the series end up feeling about it. Because
Jan seems already disillusioned with it.
Exactly. Jan's like in a place where he's like, I don't know. I mean, I know he's going to keep playing Pokemon Go. He's never going to stop doing that, it seems like. But he's positioned to still hop on board if they can give him something to latch himself onto. He liked Arceus. So if this game can capture some of that excitement, I bet he does fall right back into it. But it seems like we are still sort of waiting to find out how they are going to present this to someone like Jan. Mostly, I am like thinking, even if this game comes out and is pretty good, I personally am going to just go back and finish Arceus because I never finished that. I'm like happy with that game. I don't need much more from Pokemon personally. Now, if it comes out and people are like losing their minds, I will definitely check it out. I'm very skeptical that that's going to be what ends up happening.
I am very skeptical also of that, Jeff. I think it's going to deliver on what it's promising in terms of being, more open than what we had with Sword and Shield, and maybe having some nice newer ideas. I am almost already kind of looking past this and really thinking, I want Pokemon Legends too. I want that idea explored even more. I don't just want some of those kernels thrown into the old Pokemon formula, right? I want Arceus expanded upon and made even deeper and richer. So, plus, I mean, I'm so satisfied right now with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is a game I'm not going to finish anytime soon, and that's really giving me a good Switch itch for JRPGs. And it's probably the vibe I'm looking more so for my JRPGs right now than the same things I needed when I was 12 years old and playing Pokemon.
Yeah, I think that this game, Scarlet and Violet, is going to crush with kids, and that's all it needs to do.
It's going to be a giant hit.
It feels like it's going to be like a bigger hit than in most recent Pokemon games and even new generations, stuff like that. Feels like it's going to be the big Pokemon for the Switch, and that has inherent values of like putting it over the top that very few other brands can really latch onto.
Yeah, I mean, I can't criticize. In fact, I even applaud Nintendo or Pokemon Company for their approach of not aging up Pokemon in like the way, like, say, Harry Potter has with, like, we have to follow the audience, so we have to start killing babies and stuff as the franchise gets older.
Yeah, make your friends torture their friends. That's what kids want.
Yeah, right. No, it's like, Pokemon just keeps appealing to kids. Heck, I went to McDonald's with my nephew and niece the other day, and guess what the Happy Meal toy is right now? Pokemon cards. And they were plenty happy with it, So yeah, there's definitely something there.
And you know who's not happy with it? Older Pokemon fans, but fuck them. Fuck them.
Yeah, right. What are they? A lot of them are gonna buy it anyway, so
yeah. Apparently, like I don't know where I saw. It must have been on the Pokemon Reddit that I'm subscribed to, but it was like, Pokemon cards are back at McDonald's, and we're not happy. It's like, oh, okay. I'm not interested in why you're not happy, but I'm sure you're not. I'm not surprised.
Why
to find
aren't they
out
happy? What could they possibly
I
not
don't
be
know.
happy
I didn't
about?
look into it. I didn't look any further. I just wasn't surprised that they weren't happy. So if anyone in chat knows why they're not happy about the McDonald's cards,
is it ruining the skit? Is it ruining the rarity values or something? Jeff, do you have a favorite Happy Meal from McDonald's? There's a couple that stand out for me in my memory.
My favorite toys from Happy Meals when I was a kid.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I remember to this day.
Remember the Sonic 3 ones they did?
Yes, that was cool, but it wasn't as cool as Raccoon Mario with the little suction cup, and you press down on it, and it suction cups, and then as the suction cup releases, it bounces and does a backflip and lands on its feet.
Oh, yeah. See, I only barely... Again, you're a little older than me. I only barely remember that one. Sonic 3,
I had that for forever.
Ingrained.
I had that Super Mario 3 toy for forever. There was a handful of other things that
McDonald's would only do a Happy Meal if your game got to its third entry, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. There was a little tin I would have, or a little box that would have my tiny little toys, and there'd be Micro Machines and the Star Wars Micro Machine stuff, which was very cool, and then some Happy Meal toys that I would hang on to, but most Happy Meal toys were pretty disposable.
All right, Nintendogs explain why they're upset about the Pokemon cards. They aren't happy about the Pokemon cards because they can't buy the cards outside of the Happy Meal. They used to be able to just get the cards and can no longer do that after the shortage last up. So I guess these are exclusive Happy Meal cards, Jeff. And some people
buy
are
a
mad
Happy Meal. Get over it. Jesus.
Happy Meals. Oh, this economy. Yeah, wait. I'm not done talking about Happy Meals though, because there was to shock nobody, Jeff. I was a Beanie Baby collector.
Mm-hmm.
So the teeny beanies, very big deal. And I remember you could actually I didn't even know if it was a Happy Meal thing or just a McDonald's thing. You could just buy VHS movies, and it was like The Land Before Time and Field of Dreams and shit like that. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Nintendo Happy Meal toys. They had Mario Kart 8 toys, of course. There was a lot of Nintendo toys.
There was a big break between Mario, in terms of video game related ones. There's Mario 3, they said, then a good bit later Sonic 3.
Yeah.
And kind of nothing for a long time there. Till shit like Skylanders probably became popular. Who knows?
Yeah. But most modern Happy Meal toys fucking suck. They're real bad.
Wow, you would know better than me on that.
I do know. And the kids don't even really care about them anymore. And they're 5 and 3. They should still care. We just throw out almost all of them.
Deeply about that. I cared about nothing more.
Same, yeah. There was a solid couple of years there where there's the most important thing was getting that toy in the Happy Meal. Maybe the toy in the cereal box, but no, not really.
I used to be a skinny kid, and then McDonald's made that quadruple cheeseburger in promotion with the Hercules movie. I think that's what got me thicker. Specifically, just eating one of those, my body's like, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, well, all right, let's beef up.
Yeah,
all right, we got beefy boys here, everybody.
We got beefy boys, indeed. All right, Jeff, why don't we get to some of these Discord questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you like that?
I would love that.
I bet you would like nothing more.
I would like nothing more than to answer these questions.
From Benji Glasskey, hey, unwiped asses. Did you know that Miyamoto has kids? I refuse to believe he fucks.
Yeah, all of us. We're all his kids. I am with the author of this question regarding vis-a-vis Miyamoto fucking. I agree 100% that I will not engage in thinking about that.
He introduces himself as Mario's dad all the time now.
That's true. Yeah. But that he just sprouted from his brain, right? Just onto the page.
Yeah.
So
I actually didn't know Miyamoto had kids. I'm not surprised to find out, but it is we do not hear about them. I wonder what they do.
I wonder what their names are, like Funky Kong and
Funky Kong.
Here's Funky Kong Miyamoto, everybody.
Booster.
Yeah.
Jump Matt says, Mike, did you ever play Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure? I played it on Steam Deck after hearing you mention it a while back, and it's a ton of fun. Not quite a Tony Hawk Pro Skaters level, and some of the song choices are horrendous, but it's amazing to be playing through what's essentially a secret Tony Hawk game. So yes, I played it. I played the Dolphin version of it when I did that GameCube stream last year for its anniversary. Yeah, it's fun. It's just a Tony Hawk game made by Toys for Bob. It's using the Tony Hawk engine, and it just has levels based on like Tarzan and Toy Story and stuff like that. I don't own a physical copy yet. It's on my to-get list, but I feel very comfortable saying it's a GameCube hidden gem. Jeff, I was like looking for GameCube hidden gems to see if there's like weird stuff I should get on my like list, and it's infuriating trying to Google that stuff online because you find Reddit threads where somebody's like, "What's a GameCube hidden gem?" And, like the answers are things like Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, you gotta like Metal Jesus Rocks, is that the name? Chat?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
he's very solid with his picks.
Yeah,
I tend to think like this is the right balance of games that are still fun to play, but then are also relatively like deep cuts.
Any game that's published by Nintendo is automatically not a hidden gem.
1,000%, especially on GameCube, N64. Anything published by Nintendo doesn't count. Maybe once you get in like the 3DS and
weird like digital games.
Sure. It starts at Metal Arms glitch in the system, and anything beyond that, those are the deep cuts. That's where the line starts.
That's a big one on my list. Is Metal Arms. Yeah. All right, next one here where Doctor says, "Hey boys, Nintendo wants in the free-to-play multiplayer bonanza and have tasked you with deciding on what IP and what genre the game is going to be based. Can't be Splatoon because Splatoon 3 is already announced as a full-price game. What IP and what type of game are you advising Nintendo make? Their goal is to make $1 billion a year on skins and cosmetics." I mean, Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Obviously would work very well with that free-to-play model, Jeff. It's just hard to know how people are gonna bite on that, especially Smash Bros. When they did the big "Hey, look, everybody is here" thing. Maybe the next Mario Kart, especially if they made it this big, like it's more Nintendo Kart or Super Smash Kart. It's like, here's all these characters you can buy. That might work better. But again, they made $1 zillion with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know why you would want to do anything necessarily super different there. So maybe they need to go a different route, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is the Splatoon, and it's like we've seen them try like weird things before, like the what was the this was a question then for the Jeopardy game, Wii Switch Sports or Wii U Switch Sports.
There was that Wii U Sports game that I completely forgot about. Yeah.
Wii Sports Net or whatever it was, and like I think that you could start those free to play, and then they would like charge you to unlock them or whatever, and that's not exactly in the spirit of it. I don't know. I feel like if they couldn't figure out Animal Crossing, I don't really know if they can figure out just about anything. So
maybe Nintendo should do a Hearthstone clone. Remember when everyone's making digital card games, and now all of those have kind of gone to the wayside. Even Hearthstone itself's on the decline again.
Hanafuda cards, yeah, there you go.
Hanafuda, like do something. I don't know if it's all Nintendo, or if it's like Zelda specifically, or even like just a Fire Emblem digital card game. But I'd do that.
I'd be down with that.
Next one is Shoji Koto. Hey there, Mike. Jayale. What's
Hi-alai.
Hi-alai. That's right. It's that food I didn't know about, right?
Nope,
yeah,
it's
the
a
drink.
Sport. Nope, it's a sport.
It's a sport. That's right.
We're going to get there eventually, everybody. Don't worry.
I remember this word confusing me before.
Yep.
And Jeff, back alley gambling Grubb.
Okay.
Nintendo has a storied history of novel, weird, and sometimes gimmicky peripherals in the past. Things like Rob, the Power Glove, Game Boy printer, heart rate monitor, Wii Fit, balance board, Nintendo Labo, etc. What do you think Nintendo's next big gimmick peripheral might be? And do you think Nintendo will ever create another hit peripheral that becomes a game changer in the industry like they did with the Rumble Pack? Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I mean, you never say never. I'm struggling to imagine what Nintendo could whip up. I mean, obviously, if I could imagine it, I would just do it and be rich.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say that it is impressive. I mean, of course, it was in the Wizards, so people are thinking it's Nintendo, but the Power Glove's greatest power was making people think like Nintendo made it, because that was just made by, well, I can't remember, like a toy company, right? And they
was it Konami? No,
no, I can't. I don't think
You're
so.
right. Was it LJN? No, I don't think so.
No, did LJN do the other one? I can't. But like they did, like someone did the U-Force, and that was like actually worked pretty well. And the Power Glove was just kind of crap compared to that. But the Power Glove was not Nintendo, and yet to this day, most people probably would assume it is.
Yeah, well, they had Captain N like Did Captain N actually have a power glove, or am I just making that up in my mind? Might be making that up.
To me, it was in the Wizards, so like it wouldn't
That's
be.
why I got associated.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was like, yeah, they had a similar sort of thing going with the cartoon, and the cartoon sort of like lived on its own, would be able to bring that in. But yeah, I don't know. I think I won't be able to pick one like from the future, but I think Nintendo very likely has it in them to introduce new toy-like interactions with their games and consoles that other companies would be like, geez, wow, Nintendo did it again. They've done it so many times. It's like at a certain point, it's not like
Mattel did the Power Glove. Thank you,
Mattel,
guys.
that's right. There we go. At a certain point, it is just like, oh, Nintendo's going to attract the kind of people that are capable of producing these kinds of interactions, and they're just going to keep doing it as long as Nintendo has sort of confidence in trying to pull that stuff off.
Seiklin says, Mike, how are you handling fruit-themed Pokemon? I never liked them, turns out. Yeah, there's like isn't there some Pokemon who is just like an apple or something? Or
Probably.
I don't like it. There's something like that. Casual says, Dear Mike, man of the low fruity fiber, Minotti, and Jeff, I could hang out in an apple orchard for hours. Grubb.
Good.
This weekend, I joined my... Yeah, I bet you have. This is what ruined you. This weekend, I joined my dad for a visit to the local moped flea market. That's a thing. And found this questionable album. Do you have any good/weird finds from flea markets, game-related or otherwise? Love you in all that you do. What's this? This album's called First and 10, the Party Animal album by HBO. This thing has very wild energy. Gosh, Jeff, I haven't been to an actual flea market in a good long while. When we went when I was younger, it was to find Beanie Babies. Is how we used to do it. So we found Beanie Babies, but I don't think anybody's super excited about that. I know I used to go to like the the comic conventions, which are basically flea markets where they only sell comics, action figures, and like old wrestling tapes. And I was always trying to find what Punisher meets Archie or something for my one friend. He was always looking for it, which apparently is real. I never could find it.
I lived basically right next to a flea market in Westerville, Ohio, and it never had great great selection of game stuff. So I think I got like turned off the idea. But I did work at FedEx, and this old lady, I don't know, a lot of people just like found me personable, which is like always confusing to me because I always feel like a curmudgeon. But this old lady's just like got to talking to me and asked me like what I like. I'm like, I like video games. And she just brought in her top-loading NES to me and a bunch of games after I had sold my old NES, which didn't really work anyhow. And I'm like, the top-loading NES worked perfectly. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Top loader doesn't look as good, but it sure does work better.
Oh, it works great. Yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, man, this is so cool. She just gave it to me. I'm like, oh, well, this feels like a great find.
Awesome. Yeah. Pennywise says, hey there, Beef and Cheddar boys. It's been a little while since I've been able to write in, but I got a Mikey question.
Ooh.
First, I really do want to thank you both for the amazing content. My chronically sick wife, whose health is finally improving, listens a bit to the show and has recently gotten a new lease on life because she discovered that Mike has Crohn's, but that he sounds, and I quote, like the happiest guy ever. Aw.
That's incredible. I love that.
She's dealing with some very nasty stomach stuff right now, similar to Crohn's, along with other hospitalizations. We are finally going to try to take a vacation, as we have not been able to go anywhere near us, and we're going to Disneyland.
Woo.
So, Mike, should we go during the Halloween season in October or the Christmas season, which starts on November 11th? Which one is more decked out? If you had to pick one restaurant to get a reservation, what would you recommend? Sorry for the long off-topic question. I promise I was something to tell relay next time. Hey, I love these questions, and I'm glad your wife is feeling better.
Same.
You know, yeah. The Crohn's used to kick my butt a bit, but it's people say that like your mental state and stuff like that really does matter. And it really does. And sometimes you kind of have to fake it for your own good and for like the good people around you a little bit. But it like not just because it'll make other people better, but it can make you feel better too. To some degree, Jeff, happiness is a choice. I always believe that. I know it's an easier choice for some people. I don't want to try to diminish anybody struggling with, depression or other issues like that. But you can kind of train yourself to have better outlook or to feel better more often than not. I still have rough days, just like everyone else, despite sounding like the happiest guy ever.
I can attest to that. He's cranky to me all the time.
It's true. Well, yeah. I was saying on my stream, because before this AEW fight, like the big hot thing was Eddie Kingston doing that palm thing. What is that called? The pie face to Sammy. And I'm like, I can understand. Like, I bet like getting pie face feels awful. It probably feels like the worst thing a person could do to you without actually hitting you. I was like, I'm gonna pie face Jeff and see how he responds.
So
to
like,
that.
so this is putting the hand in the face and pushing you away really hard.
Yeah, like it's like the most aggressive move you can do to a person without like hurting them really, right?
I'm pretty sure my natural instincts would just kick in, and I would use your energy against you, very Bruce Lee like, and you would find yourself ass on the floor, and it would mostly be pretty funny, and everyone would laugh at you, and you would feel a little bit butthurt, but that's all.
So Halloween at Disneyland is good. A lot of the Halloween stuff is actually at the California Adventure Park. They do like Oogie Boogie's Halloween Bash kind of a thing, and there's fun stuff there. I am more of a Christmas guy myself, so I like the Christmas offerings in general more. It's just all of it's good. All of it's decorated really nicely. During all of it, they will have the overlay at Haunted Mansion where it looks like Nightmare Before Christmas stuff instead. And that is a very cool ride overlay over there. So I would, if you just like one of those holidays more than the other one, I'd say do that. Otherwise, you're going to be good. Restaurant. So I think Disneyland snack game is actually really good. Like my favorite thing to eat at Disneyland is the corn dogs at the corn dog cart at the end of Main Street. It's in this little red wagon. But for a restaurant, I like the Blue Bayou, which is a restaurant in Disneyland in the New Orleans Square area. It's actually like attached to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride there, and the Pirates of the Caribbean ride goes through the restaurant like as like its first scene. So you get to like see like them going out on their boats, and the whole thing's decorated to look like you're outside at night in like the bayou. Has a very cool vibe. So Blue Bayou would probably be my restaurant recommendation if you're going to Disneyland.
If me and Jan and Jess can convince Giant Bomb to do a Disney World excursion, we will bring you on as the expert consultant. Like that's already like locked, so don't worry. That's gonna happen.
You could do things. I mean, there's like a lot of opportunities for renting special rooms and lounges, and there's big scale things like conventions attached to hotels. But there's a lot of like fan groups that do events at Disney World that always sound fun.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the kind of thing I think we would probably try and end up doing is like a gathering of some sort, maybe a show or something.
I forward you to like Retro Magic. Like the one podcast I like, Retro WW, is a thing there called Retro Magic, and it's it's great. But yes, that would be a fun idea. Something we should look into. I'm actually I'm in the middle of convincing a Universal theme park insider to join me on a stream someday so that she can watch me play the Universal Studios GameCube game that I have acquired, and also maybe talk to all of us a bit about what's going on with Nintendo in Universal. What they're building now and what might be in the future.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Content. Theme park gaming content. They're scissoring, Jeff, and it's just coming together.
That's very important then. All right, excellent.
Screaming Turbo Man says, "Hey, Mike Wah Naughty and Jeff Warub. Let's play a game called Wah or Nada Wah, in which I'll list different video game characters from other gaming franchises, and you two determine if they are a Wah, as in they're a Wario or a Waluigi of that gaming franchise, or not a Wah. Here we go. Shadow the Hedgehog. That's a Wah. That's a kind of a Wah. Meta Knight. Meta Knight's not enough like Kirby to be a Wah. I mean, he looks a lot more like Kirby when he's not wearing all his stuff, but he's always wearing his stuff, so yeah, I don't think so. Melina.
No. Go ahead, keep going.
Sorry, Melina's not a Wah because Melina was introduced at the same game as Katana.
Right, okay.
I don't think like the Wah has to come much later.
Yeah, not a Wah.
Talkman, the main villain of Pac-Man World and the repack. I haven't played that yet. I do not know Talkman.
It sounds like a Wah. Gut. It sounds like a Wah. Yes, absolutely.
Sounds like a big Wah. Solidus
Wah.
Snake.
Waluigi.
No, I don't think Waluigi. I don't think Solidus Snake is a Wah. I mean, Liquid Snake is closer to being a Wah, to be honest. Not Solidus. Solidus is weird. He's like aged faster, so he looks older. He was also the president of the United States.
Oh, then definitely a Waluigi then, yes.
Definitely a Waluigi. Excuse me. Next one here.
Wait, real quick.
Yes.
Did you skip Revan and Winnie on purpose?
Yes, out of spite. No, I did that by accident, Jeff. Good catch.
No worries.
This is what I get
for
trying to do some of my glasses because of
no
the
worries.
freaking reflections. Thank you, chat. Revis says, anyone heard from Cranky Kong lately? Is he okay? Well, I'm glad we didn't miss this. No, he's dead. Sorry,
Yeah,
I hate to be the one to break
He's fucking
this to
dead
you.
as hell, man. He is so dead.
Breaking news. Get VGC on the line. Let him quote us. Cranky Kong is fucking dead. That's
dead.
what I want you to print, Mike Minotti.
Mike Minotti, yes, just quotations. Cranky Kong fucking dead.
Winnie says, an ensemble Marvel game makes me, an ignoramus, think less of a team and more of a team up. Are we getting Ultimate Alliance 4? Jeff, did you tease an ensemble Marvel game?
No. They have 100% confirmed this. That Amy Hennig is working on a
that thing
Marvel ensemble game, which makes me think very much not Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4 from Amy Hennig. That would be a waste of her talents.
No, I mean, gosh, they're all ensemble Marvel games now, Jeff, unless it's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It is such an ideal fit for her to do either X-Men or Fantastic Four. Like, either one of those would be a perfect fit for what she's good at.
Yeah, Fantastic Four especially, but
I think so.
Yeah, I think those both would make sense. I think it would be one of the teams and not necessarily an Ultimate Alliance 4 thing where it's all Marvel. Because again, they're making something very AAA, I'm sure.
It could be like Young Avengers or West Coast Avengers. It could be like some
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, it could have like something like Squirrel Girl. Like they could go that route. I mean, and maybe that's like a better.
Amy Hennig fucking loves Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, and I think it would be better than trying to do like the Avengers teams from the movie and now in a game again.
That's not happening.
Yep.
That is absolutely not happening. Okay, I'm not actually skipping any of these. That's for sure. Why I take my glasses off again? Every time I look at the thing and I see my glasses on video, I see
no one else notices, Mike.
No, drives me crazy. Hosp says, hey, yo, dogs. Nintendo 64 NSO launched with 9 games last year. If as expected we get Game Boy Color this year, which 9 titles do you predict turn up on day one? Man, you would hope it'd be more than 9 for Game Boy because, so old.
Yes.
But still, let's go with this logic. Let's pick 9 games for Game Boy / Game Boy Color that will show up on NSO day one. Tetris has to be there. I think Mario Land and Mario Land 2, would they do both right away? Or they want to skip? You might get both of those. And they might hold off on Wario Land or something.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that. I mean, they just there's a whole bunch of base first games they should get out. Yeah, Wario Land, probably just Wario Land 1. I think Kirby, all of
Kirby's
those.
Dream Land.
Yes, get those out of the way, and then
Kirby's Pinball even.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then you come back with the second wave that has all kinds of all those sequels and improvements and stuff like that. You probably put Link's Awakening in the first batch, I think.
Sure, you could put the OG Link's Awakening or DX in there now because they already sold. They're not going to put in the Oracle games, I don't think, because they might have other plans. Donkey Kong 94, that could be the right way. We might even get some lame things like the Game Boy Nintendo golf game or whatever they made, right? Not like the good Game Boy Color one,
right?
The launch game, sports games that they made, stuff like that. So.
Yes, yeah, God, I had that football game, and you would punt it in that game and kick it over the other team, and they would call it a turnover, and I was so confused. I'm like, is that how it works? I mean, I guess technically, and it just I put it away and never really played it again. Heineyako Alien, I can never remember how to say that, but it was one of the first games I had, and they should put that on Game Boy right away, or the Game Boy NSO right away.
Get Metroid 2, the original version, and that Kid Icarus sequel that was on the Game Boy. That must be 9 or so there. So there you go. Beef Hammer says, if we are to believe the rumors of 2 handsome and intelligent podcasters, Nintendo has some GameCube remasters on the way. What GameCube game would you want remastered most? I am asking for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance so that Mike won't spend hundreds of dollars on an original copy. Well, I already did that. It's over there somewhere. So too late for me. Someday they might remaster that and its Wii sequel together. I could see, Jeff, but they have a lot of other Fire Emblem games that they could probably get to first, I imagine. There's a lot of the Super Nintendo ones that never even got localized in English, so that might even be an easier sell for them. We say F-Zero GX a lot. It still makes a lot of sense to me, and I would really like to see, now that Aspire has some more free time, maybe they can get going on Rogue Leader, because that would be really nice.
Yeah, I think the one that is maybe the most timeless, especially if you just do a quick widescreen patch to it and fix up the glitching that happens with that is Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which T-Bucket and Chet is saying.
Very easy to remaster that one.
Kind of feels like it would be wild not to do that one because it still looks so good, and you can with the emulator that they would use, you'd very easily be able to spruce it up. They should just put that game out, and then also they should be like, oh, and we should learn from this game and kind of just make a direct sequel to that instead of what we've been doing.
Maybe they will try to remaster it, and Shiggy will walk in and see that a Goomba has a hat on and just start flipping tables.
Mamma mia, a Goomba with a hat.
Mamma a talking Goomba.
A talking Goomba, boom.
Velocity Prime 1 says, Dear Jeff, just turned 65 Grubb, and Mike, Chili's fanatic Minotti. What game and or series do you think was bigger deal than reality due to your constant exposure to it at a certain point in time? For me, I sunk tons of hours into Pikmin 2 multiplayer with friends, only to find it's one of Nintendo's smaller franchises. I mean, I talk a lot, Jeff, how as a kid, I thought that Metroid was just as important to Nintendo as Zelda and Mario, which is definitely not the case. In my heart, it's the case. In the case of like a lot of people who care about Metacritic scores, I suppose it's the case. In terms of sales and things like that, not so much.
Yeah. Like, what is the frame the question for me again?
So what's like a game that as when you're growing up with you thought was like a really popular game or franchise, and then later you found out and you thought that because you played it a lot and your friends maybe played it a lot, but it's not really. Yeah,
I mean, the one that I would like, it was pretty popular. It was an early hit sports game. We talked about it recently. Like Super Tecmo Bowl was the video game for my family. So it's like kind of like to go on and have it sort of be forgotten is weird. Most people don't talk about that when they talk about the classic football games. They go to Madden and only Madden. So yeah,
I think you're underselling a little bit. I think like it's definitely the most well-known of the 8-bit football games, which isn't like saying a whole lot.
It definitely is, yes. But it's just like for me, it was at this pinnacle of what video games were at that time, and it was never actually quite that for most other people.
I probably thought Clay Fighters was a bigger deal than it really was. Yeah. Which actually the first one did do very well, but it very quickly did not matter very much. From Just This Guy, greetings, Jeff. Never predicted right, Grubb, and Mike, humble, graceful winner, Minotti. Do you ever have games that you could have sworn were on a console, only to find out later that they never were? I was so crushed that the Alundra games were on the Genesis, but turns out they were late. Turns out they were later than that. I love those games, but realized they are sadly never coming back.
No, I never make mistakes like this. I'm too smart and good.
You make mistakes like this all the time. What was the one game that you thought was like on Gen? Oh, you thought that the first X-Men fighting game was on Genesis, and I got mad at you.
Yeah. I was confused.
No,
I was conflating it with a different one, but yes, that is.
You're complaining with Clone Wars. Yes, one of the side scrollers, I think. Yes. No, I'm very smart, and I don't make these mistakes.
There you go. Okay, yeah.
I'm a genius. The Uncharted Wolf 5 says, "Hey Jeff, I saw you on Spawncast. Did you see me, Grubb?" And Mike wasn't on Spawncast. Your relevancy is fading. Oh, my relevancy has never been higher, baby. What is a franchise with the least number of entries that you've gotten tired of the fastest? I mean,
ARMS.
He already said it, but this is what I immediately thought of. For example, while I enjoy both games a good amount, The Last of Us has already driven me insane with how much it's been pushed and talked about, both positively and negatively. And I'm just ready for Naughty Dog to do a new IP. I am definitely. I mean, again, I'm gonna get afraid to say this because people really like The Last of Us really like it, and I don't want them mad at me. But I am tired of it. And what makes me tired, Jeff, is knowing that TV show is also like about to come out, and we're just gonna be talking about The Last of Us till the end of time. This will probably Last of Us 3, and here we go again.
It is very much like I am tired of it, and I played 8 hours of part 2 or whatever, and I liked it fine, but it was enough for me. I'm like, I get it. The people who really like that come from very casual spaces, I don't want to yuck their yum even a little bit. I'm like, this is what they want video games to be, and they don't have a lot of options. Like there is this and a couple other things maybe, and really not even. And so I'm like, I'll keep quiet about being tired of it. But it also feels very much like this is the ideal of what from casual spaces of what video games could be. And so kind of to constantly be talking about it feels a little bit like, oh, we are selling games short, in my opinion. So it's like, yeah, I'm right there with you on that. It's funny, chats remember, Wolfenstein The New Order was on Xbox 360, Jeff Grubb, you dummy. I'm like, I don't remember saying that, but I'm sure I did. I'm sure I made a mistake and said it wasn't on Xbox 360 or something. That sounds exactly like me.
Sounds like something you would do.
It sounds like something I would do, yes.
thought there's probably other good examples of this, like games that didn't have that many entries yet. I was like already very, very much over it. But I don't know, nothing. I'm just like filled. Last of Us is such the example of that right now. I can't think of anything else. Bench JC says, "Hey dogs, Splatoon 3 is this Friday. I'll be on pain meds due to dental surgery Friday, so it'll definitely be interesting for me. Are you all excited?" Jeff, I am excited. Probably one of the most excited I've been for a game this year. I really liked the Splatfest demo a lot. I'm ready to jump in, play a good amount of this, enjoy that single player. We can do some online matches. We can do some salmon runs, or whatever. I think it's gonna be a very
24/7 salmon run. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means in the last game you can only do salmon runs during certain times when they turned it on.
Oh my god!
Because Nintendo is fucking weird.
Holy shit!
For this game, a big feature is it will always be on.
Imagine that.
Yep.
Holy shit! I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I mean, it's weird that we still have like, here are the 2 maps you can play this hour. What? It's like, all right, fine, whatever. But damn, I forgot about that with Salmon Run. That's nuts. Diego RP says, "Dear Nintendogs, the year is 2074. Nintendo has just released the new Super Switch U Entertainment System 64, promising to have its entire back catalog available. All games are here except one exclusive game that Nintendo still won't make available despite roaring player requests in MySpace. Which one is? It's Mario RPG. Just to annoy Jeff.
Mario RPG. That's right. Yep. They're like, we're not going to go give money to Square Enix. Ew.
Gross. Yeah, actually, it'll be Mother 3. Kevin's completely right. It'll totally be Mother 3. Gerbear. Okay, look. Clearly, the solstices are the middle of their respective seasons because that shapes the seasons as follows. Spring is all days getting gradually longer and goes from longer nights to longer days. Summer is all the longest days of the year. Yep. Autumn is all days getting gradually shorter, and winter is all the shortest days of the years.
Yes.
Winter starting on the date starts getting longer is nonsense PR pushed by big oil to normalize our seasons all getting messed up by global warming.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that. But yeah, it's like, if the days are still longer than the nights, you are in summer. Like, that's just how it works, homies. Sorry.
Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, "Hey boys, even as a Nintendo fan, one of my biggest gaming sins is that I've never been able to get into the Zelda games. I know these games are all-time greats, but I've struggled every time I've tried an entry. I usually prefer more guided experiences in games. Stories and worlds haven't interested me enough to get lost in them, and I don't like games that have a focus on combat. However, there's one Zelda game that I might be interested in trying if it gets ported to the Switch, Wind Waker. Love the art style, and the world seems like it's fun enough to explore. Do you think I could right my wrongs and actually enjoy this entry? Thanks, and I'm sorry for my port days." Oh, you're fine. I mean, Wind Waker's my favorite one. It's relatively guided. There's some open stuff on the ocean, and it's all relatively optional for the most part. There's like one section where you need to explore the ocean for a little bit, but a lot of stuff is optional, and it's generally where to go, and you can just kind of beeline for it. It's not super combat focused at all either.
Yeah, you're not gonna feel too lost in Wind Waker ever. And honestly, the game is so old at this point that if you wanted to like make it more of a guided experience, get a guide.
Yeah.
And just read the guide and don't feel bad because you're still gonna enjoy that game a lot.
There's a lot of games I loved playing kind of with a guide. When I played through like all the older Final Fantasies, I had like some all these game facts guides just open the entire time, and if I wanted to like be like, hey, what's a good thing I should do right now, or I want to make sure I'm not missing any side quests here, or what's like the best weapon for this guy, let's go get that. That was a fun way to do it. Or how do I beat this boss, because this seems a little tough. So yeah.
Oh man, I just realized that I could play Wind Waker again, and I'm like in the mood for Wind Waker. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, Wind Waker's great. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
Pablo Costa says, "Hey, Beef and Cheddar amigos. Mike, what's your take on the new Disney Animal Crossing like game? It came out today. It's on Game Pass. I haven't tried it yet, Jeff. So maybe I'll install that tonight. Maybe tomorrow I can stream it and see what it's like getting into that."
Just added the $70 version from Steam to my account. So I got exclusive Ultimate Regal Fox Animal Companion. I got an exclusive Ultimate Clothing Set, 2 wearable items, exclusive Ultimate Ear Headband and Jersey. People seem to like this game.
Yeah.
I asked for codes. They're like, Disney's like, yeah, we'll get it to you, but like probably closer to when it comes out, and we haven't heard from them. So they probably just got busy. But either way, I got it now. So
whatever. It's on Game Pass. I'll check it out there.
And it's free to play too, but it's also on Game Pass for like the bonus version or whatever that has a lot of this extra stuff. So yeah, check it out. Seems cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think tomorrow I will make content out of Disney Dreamlight Valley. How does that sound, everybody?
Yay.
We'll have a good stream. We'll dive in. We'll see what the biggest Disney adult nerd you think of, Mike Minotti, thinks of this thing.
It will be free to play. It's early access now, and you have to pay to be in the early access. So there you go.
Hey, Mr. Bowler. Hey, Nintendogs. Related to today's topic, what would you consider your favorite game that never had a sequel, prequel, spin-off, or remake/remaster, and it's at least 10 years old and therefore retro? Jeff, for some reason, the first thing that came to my mind was Split Second, that arcadey racing game.
That's pretty good.
Where it's like kind of like movie stunt based. Like you go around a track and you can push a button to basically make something explode, and you kind of hope that the chaos destroys the other enemies. It's kind of like a fun mix between that stunt driver game and the Burnout games, and I really liked it. I liked its vibe. I don't even know if there's ever been a 60 FPS version of it, which is a bummer. I wish that got frame rate boosted, but if they could somehow remaster that or make a new one, that would be pretty great.
Yeah, I think racing games are like a pretty good answer to this question, because it's like, a lot of companies will try a bunch of different racing games, and then probably if they want to try something else again, that's like a follow-up, they could just do something completely different next time. So Beetle Adventure Racing would be very cool to get, like, even just an update on that game. Obviously Volkswagen would have to approve it, but that game rules. It's some of the best shortcuts in any video game ever, so I would love to get more of that.
There you go. Nintendo Bro says, "Sup doggy dudes. As you both know, we are only days away from the start of another glorious season of NFL football. It also marks the inaugural season of the Game Mess Fantasy Football League. While mauling my potential picks, I couldn't help but wonder, which Nintendo character would you want as your starting quarterback, and what would their skill set be? I mean, Wario is the only Nintendo character I know of that tackles, although I guess he wouldn't make a good quarterback then. What quarterback has what Nintendo character is the best throwing
Waluigi
arm?
has height, right? And that, like, he could see over the defensive line. That'd be pretty good.
That's true.
Weird Mario could be good because he's even taller and lankier.
God. That's
He probably throws like a corkscrew ball. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
could Yoshi just eat the football and then just run with it in his mouth? Would that count?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Turn it into an egg and make it even more aerodynamic. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Donkey Kong, of course, is very strong. I feel like he wouldn't understand. That's not fair. He understands the rules of soccer just fine, so I guess he'd be okay. And then Nintendo Bro says, "Sup, doggy dude." Oh no, that's the one I just read. Jetty Moss 4 says, "There's a chance Game Boy Color games will be coming to NSO very soon. Assuming it is coming, what are the chances at least one generation of Pokemon is on the service, if not both gens, on the Game Boy? Be very weird to not have the most popular and iconic Game Boy games on the service." Jeff, I could see them adding red and blue.
Yes, I think they add red and blue. Even. Yeah, they put like red and blue on the 3DS eShop at like the end of that generation, right? That was like you could buy
on
red,
3DS,
blue,
you could get them
red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah,
and I think like they're probably at that point where it would be okay to put those on the Switch now, and it wouldn't like interfere with any other plans.
Now, TurboShots betches that it would need to have it, not likely unless it comes with Pokemon Home integration out of the gate. Like I wouldn't care about that, but I bet there's a lot of people who would. So it's kind of obnoxious. How do you make NSO games
goddamn
work with
Poke freaks?
Because people are going to be like, well, obviously I better be able to transfer these Pokemon to the newer things. Like, what if you just play this game like its own thing? And they're like, oh, I don't like that. So maybe that's going to ruin it for the rest of us. Great. Let's see. Lossian says, "Hey, Jeff, I'm trash and I'll eat this trash grub." And Mike, double strain limes margarita Minottis. Yeah, that's true. Hope your Labor Day weekend was good. First off, what the fuck, Mike? No fruit. Yeah, look. It is what it is. Second, my questions. Did Sony's complaints to Brazilian regulators come after Phil's letter to Sony about Call of Duty? What concessions would Microsoft need to do to guarantee the Activision Blizzard / King deal? I mean, it seems like Microsoft's thing is they already kind of reached out and told Sony, like, you're going to be getting Call of Duty even longer than that contract. So that's them placating a little bit. Anything else, Jeff? I think regardless of what Microsoft has said to Sony would be saying the same things in the letter because that's how they feel about it. And, it's very easy to frame what Sony said as whining. It was probably just lawyers doing their job and like, it's not whining. It's just like, we need to like position this the best for our company as possible, regardless of because we're just supposed to take Microsoft's word for it. And of course, legally they can take Microsoft's word for it,
but still, they're not like going to rest on that, and they're not going to rely on the grace of Microsoft in perpetuity. So,
Grace of Microsoft.
So I think it did come after Microsoft's letter. I think that letter does not really affect their strategy at all.
From Low Rule, you and Nate were both pretty coy on Spawncast about Silent Hill.
We were,
Was that
weren't we?
because of those recent image leaks, or have you all heard something else recently?
I mean, Nate said what he had heard, which is that we would probably get something soon, probably before Tokyo Game Show. And I think that sounds pretty good to me. And I will continue being coy.
All right, then. Doc7 says, hey, Mike, his personal Resident Evil 2 tyrant is an apple, Minotti, and Jeff, his personal Resident Evil 2 tyrant is a text box, Grubb.
That would be horrifying.
What is a game design element you would erase from history if you could? QuickTime events need to be left in a hot, locked car in Phoenix in July. Boss fights you're meant to lose, Jeff. God. You know what? I think Xenoblade Chronicles 1 especially has so many boss fights you're meant to lose. I think that was like one of the reasons that I don't like that game as much.
How do you feel about boss fights you're meant to lose, but you could win?
That's okay. Yeah, like fighting Dracula at the beginning of Symphony
or
of
fighting
the
the big boy in the beginning of Sekiro or something like
if you can win, that is fine. But literally, like, the story is that you're supposed to lose. And at JRPGs, it's like, you don't know. And you start using items and shit, using all your rare stuff. Like, this is a hard fight, but using stuff. And it's like, oh, fuck me, I guess. Drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah, I like it if you can win, but yes, that's fair. Let's see. This is not fair because we do need them, but tutorials in general, I think I like games that could teach you by letting you play them. And of course, that's not realistic. Of course, we need more complicated games than that. But tutorials, let's leave those behind.
Good and Creamy says, hey, boys, hope you both had a great long weekend. I know Jeff follows the Chinese handheld scene, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on the Aya Neo Air. Is that right? Aya
Neo Air. Yeah, I keep looking at one all the time. Aya Neo Pro as well. It looks very cool. But it's just so expensive. They are like twice as expensive as like the middle model of the Steam Deck, basically, and not quite. It's very close, but it's not quite as powerful as a Steam Deck. I don't know. But it's also like thinner and lighter and smaller, and that's all very cool. I would love to get one, but I like can't justify it. So I keep getting the smaller, cheaper ones, and I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that Retroid Pocket 3, people had a lot of complaints about it. Turns out it's actually pretty great. And I'm fine with like that side of things while I have a Steam Deck. And I would recommend the $400 Steam Deck kind of no matter what before any of these other handhelds that are going to be running Windows and have all the issues to go with that. Go get the Steam Deck.
Good. Oh, that was the last one. Never mind. Okay, Jeff, that's it for that. How about we take a break and then we'll get into our community topic of the week. Does that sound fun?
That sounds very fun.
All right. We'll be right back. Time to go to the Mike Minotti potty. Mike Minotti potty. Ain't no potty like Mike Minotti potty.
What's
no
a good, cheaper alternative? I mean,
yeah.
Compared to the Aya Neo Pro, I mean, the cheaper alternative is legitimately the Steam Deck. Now, at $400, if that's still too much, you could start looking at the Ein Odin, which is about $200, $250, $300. I can't remember exactly. I never got one of those, but people seem to really like them. I will probably eventually break and get one. Uncharted Wolf Grubb was the Spawncast fun, of course. Those guys are great. They're very fun. I love hanging out with them. I'm always afraid that RGT is going to say something, and I'll have to be like, oh, great. Now I have to, like, yell at him, or I'll get in trouble. Fucking maniac. And then Retroid Pocket 3, I think, is great. The Ambernick stuff is good. The Retroid Pocket 3 is good because it's got that nice big screen now. And you can get it with 3 gigs of RAM, and it ships relatively fast, and that's good. The base Air is $580. I've been triggered.
I did it. You think he beats it at the beat or at the melody?
That's the beat.
No, it has to be the melody.
No.
Because if it is toot, 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 toot,
No, like that's the drum.
toot.
Oh. Bum. Yeah,
No, he's at the melody. He visits at the melody. What are you talking about? It's bum, 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 bum,
No,
bum. That's how she knew.
Okay, I guess that is how she knew, huh? That's like stupid, though. That's not how you have sex. Oh shit, Jeff is Brendan Urie. That's not how you
That's
do
how
it.
I'm having sex now,
Alright.
baby. From now on.
You gotta you gotta surprise them with unexpected thrusts. That's not what they want. That's
Party, woo, yeah.
Everyone's gonna be. Wait, is that Seabat? Oh shit!
that's not sustainable. That's definitely
They know
not.
they
It's
move.
stupid. It's bad. Oh man. Okay. Listen. If you all are gonna have intercourse to music, do it to the beat and not to the melody. That's my recommendation to you.
I don't know. I think melody is the way to go. I don't know. You try it out, Chad, and then come back with the report. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that could be our ask some Patreon questions next week about
Yeah.
that. Sounds so good. All right. I think that we are probably ready to get back into it. Thank you, Christian. All right. Mike, I am ready whenever you are.
And we are back. Jeff, our community topic this week. We talked a little bit last week about how Joe and Mac are coming back, which rhymes and is fun. Is there like another kind of series like that you'd like to see make a revival? These things happen from time to time. Is there something specifically you would have in mind for this treatment?
Yeah, I really, there was a lot of them at the time, and I don't know if because the series transformed a bunch of times, and I wasn't keeping up with it then, and so I imagine there's a possibility it has transformed since, and I just lost track of it. But Adventure Island for NES really was, I thought, very cool. It was one of those games that's like, well, I know about Mario, and there can't be anything that's like as dynamic looking as Mario. And then you see Adventure Island, like, whoa, this guy's like on a skateboard, and he puts on a hat, and there's dinosaurs, and you can ride them and all this stuff, and it was like so colorful and cool. And I think that if they were to give that the Joe and Mac update treatment, it could be very fun. Or like even like really just remaking the game in the same way that they've done that with Donnie Moo's done that with some of those other older games where they just added animation frames on top of it. Yeah,
they did it for Wonder Boy, and Adventure Island was originally, I think, just a reskin of Wonder Boy. But I know it's definitely distinct now.
Yes, now yes, exactly.
There's a similar origin. Did you ever play a Super Adventure Island 2 on the Super Nintendo?
I don't remember. I might have like rented
like more
it, maybe
exploration-y and more
I might have rented it, but I don't remember.
Vaguely Metroid Prime. It's very good, so it might be something you enjoy playing.
Yeah,
now.
well, I'll look into it. Yeah.
I mean, Echo's one I bring up a lot. Maybe a different one from Sega. I'd like to see another Shinobi again. I really liked it. This kind of discovering those games a bit late in my life. Even specifically Shadow Dancer. They should make a new Shadow Dancer, which is Shinobi but with a dog, and that's a lot of fun. So I think seeing a really cool new HD take on that would be a lot of fun. But Jeff, why don't we see what our community has to say about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Benji Glaskey says the world is ready. The people are clamoring for it. The time is right for the comeback of Gex. Jeff, they did it. I want it to be weird 3D platformer Gex and not like 3DO 2D Gex.
Yeah, I think that's right. And but I want it to be just as weird and abrasive with the humor and stuff. Just keep all that stuff though.
Abrasive. I mean, I don't know if abrasive is the word.
I don't mean like I don't mean like aggressive or edgy. I mean abrasive as in like
annoying,
annoying.
Kind of fun way.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Alex. Brash. Alex says my immediate thought was Rampage. I've only played the 2006 game on Wii, but I loved it as a kid. It would be nice to get a simple little Rampage game with some classic inspired graphics, maybe like TMNT Shredder's Revenge. I liked that, like, 1998, 1999
Me too.
reboot they did. That was, like, in arcades and on PlayStation.
There were some good arcade reboots at that time. That, Guardian Legends.
Robotron 64.
Robotron 64, yes. There was, like, some really good stuff happening at that time.
Even those Frogger games that they made on, like, PlayStation then, those are kind of fun.
That's a stream right there. We should stream all those kinds of games.
Yeah.
Jumpman 2006,
says,
I got to look this up. I don't remember.
What are you looking up?
He said Rampage 2006 for the Wii.
Yeah, I didn't know they made one for the Wii, and I have no. Yeah,
I see what Total Destruction for PlayStation 2. It must be the same thing. I think
it was
I remember
World
seeing
Tour for PlayStation. I remember.
Yes, World Tour for PlayStation and like something similar for N64.
T Bucket is saying Rampage World Tour. I remember that game got weirdly horny. I don't remember it getting horny. I might have been an innocent child at the time.
It was probably like sexy ladies that you would like. Pick out
that
of
they
a
like
building
grab,
stuff.
like King Kong. Yeah. Jumpmat says bring back 3D Bomberman. Bomberman 64 is one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games. Great campaign, and I think its multiplayer is a lot more entertaining than the grid format Bomberman typically uses. That would be cool. They obviously still make a lot of normal Bomberman games. Bomberman 64 is great. It's definitely a top 5 non-first party Nintendo 64 game. So I would actually really like to see them do one in that style again. That's a great idea, Joe.
Yeah, I like that.
Dr. Suss says, we're seeing a really cool revival of the beat-em-up genre with Scott Pilgrim, Streets of Rage 4, and Shredder's Revenge. I want the trend to continue with Golden Axe. I thought that riding monsters through the levels was a really cool twist. Yeah, Golden Axe for sure. That would be great. Especially, like, you should... Golden Axe games are fun, but there's potential there to do something even more interesting. Kind of like how Shredder's Revenge adds more mechanics than we really had with, say, Turtles in Time. There's a lot of old beat-em-ups like that. It's actually pretty nuts to me. We haven't had a new final fight yet.
I think Golden Axe would be ideal for a leveling up system. I think that would be with a skill tree and stuff. I think that one would be RPG mechanics, so that would be awesome. Yeah,
give it a bit of the Dragon's Crown treatment.
Yeah.
Winnie says Night Trap, a new FMV game, did just come out. That's true. Yeah, we have that. Do you have any interest in play? What's it called? Immortals?
I do actually have interest, mostly because Jess hates Sam Barlow.
I love that Jess hates him, and I love how like some people are really mad that Jess hates him.
Right,
like,
absolutely. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. What do you care? Is exactly. I'm like interested to like hear her out on this, and I bet I'll end up liking the game quite a bit. It seems like a fun time to me.
Mm-hmm. Shoji Koto said, I'd like to see a comeback at Double Dragon, made by .emu, or a proper revival of Alex Kidd. They made that relatively new Double Dragon Neon. It was on Game Pass for a while. I haven't downloaded it on my Steam Deck. I haven't played it yet. But it's even like it predates like things like Streets of Rage 4.
Right.
And stuff like that. It's supposed to be good, but doesn't look as good as that stuff. So I mean, we had that Alex Kidd remake a bit ago. I don't know, Jeff. I never had much affinity for Alex Kidd.
Well, it's because it's bad. It's because Alex Kidd is bad. Yeah.
Okay, then. Fair enough. Revan says StarCraft Brood War 64 on Switch would be retro and a revival. Technically, Revan, it sure would be. Jotten says, I want to see both Darkwing Duck and Mickey Mania come back as HD remasters. You know, they were remaking some of these games for a bit. They did a remake of Castle of Illusion. They did a remake of DuckTales. So there was a time where I could have seen this stuff happening, but that has slowed down. Maybe John Drake can get on that.
Yeah, I'll make it happen, John.
Yeah. Can you play Dragon's Crown on Steam Deck? I think I looked into it, Jeff. You're asking in chat because I wanted to, because I played 13 Sentinels and I was in this big mood to play more Vanillaware stuff, and they had nothing out on Switch, which blew my mind. And I think I looked to see which of their stuff was Steam Deck compatible, and I don't think much of it was.
I am going to commit crimes to make this happen because I do not think it is natively available on any sort of hardware like that right now. So it's time. I'm going to just do it. It was like on Vita, right?
Yes, it was on Vita.
And PlayStation 3?
Yes, I think it was definitely on PlayStation 3.
Well, then I might just do the PlayStation 3 version. I bet that runs fine on the Steam Deck.
Wait, which character are you gonna play? Are you gonna just go full out and be like one of the really weird deformed humans?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the witch.
You're not gonna be like the slightly respectable archer lady.
She's the one with the very muscly butt cheeks and stuff.
No, I think that's like the Amazon. There's like an archer who's like the most like slightly normal looking.
Oh no, I'm gonna play as a slut, Mike.
Okay, very good. Casual says Goemon needs to make his return, and the game needs to ooze of that quirky, fun energy Mystic Ninja on the Nintendo 64 had. More sinking giant robots, please. I think I talked about this before, Jeff. I rented that game on 64, had no idea what was going on. People love these Goemon games, though.
I did also rent it on the N64, and I also had no idea what was going on, and I also am aware people love these Goemon games.
Yeah, so maybe I want to try it again at some point. Velocity Prime 1 says, I burned through a lot of classic games this year, and it has me wondering, what's Vectorman up to? Will they use vector graphics on the new one? Also, Rystar, that Sonic-faced motherfucker should come back. I played Rystar 10 years ago. I was like, man, this game is great. What a hidden gem. Then I played it again very recently on NSO. I was like, yeah, this is okay. Yeah. So I've been having a roller coaster with the Rystar. Remember they were making a new Vector Man for PlayStation 2 that like got announced. And
I don't
there was, like,
remember that.
There's screenshots in magazines and everything, and then it just got canceled. It never came out.
They should remake Vector Man, but with voxels, so you can like blow them apart and stuff, and that'd be cool.
That would be fun. Beef Hammer says, Sega, where's Echo the Dolphin Revival? Mike is literally hearing dolphin noises and random clips nowadays. The people are starving for more Echo. Jeff saw Echo adjacent, but I discovered that there is a SeaWorld Shamu game for the GameCube that looks Echo adjacent.
How expensive is that one?
Very cheap. Turns out. Not very expensive. Cool. It's like $5. So it will be mine.
Well, there you go.
That's going to be a good time. Hosp says, I wonder what a modern take on Desert Strike could look like. Played a lot on Mega Drive back in the day. It was pretty damn impressive back then. Maybe move the series a little away from actual wars, though. Post-apocalyptic monsters would be a great
That's
change.
The thing about Desert Strike I always think of is like, they just were like, what is the legally distinct name of Desert Storm? Like, oh, Desert Strike. Okay, there we go, everybody. Let's capitalize on the war.
Yeah, it could be like, I saw Top Gun Maverick finally, and I liked it a lot. It was very funny how they were never said who the bad guys were.
The enemy.
The enemy. They were all black. They literally was like a video game from the late 90s. I kind of loved it.
It's got super Ace Combat vibes, and I love it. I love that they did that. That rules.
Just this guy, says, what old game could really use revival? Prince of Persia. Maybe some kind of third-person character action adventure kind of thing. I think it could work. Nah, that would never work. That sounds stupid. You should be embarrassed.
Yeah, go back to your hole.
Go back to your hole. Screaming Turbo Man, it says, screw it. I'm going to pick a retro Sony game to get revived, and that's IQ, Intelligent Cube. Even after I platinumed the game on PlayStation 5, I'm still addicted to playing this puzzle masterpiece from the PlayStation 1. In order to bring it back, maybe do what Nintendo did with Tetris and make IQ 99. But if IQ ever comes back, they need to get Takayuki Hattori, I think I got that, to compose the soundtrack because it's not IQ without the incredible Lucasfilms sounding soundtrack. Jeff, I did not play this game. I know people like it.
What is IQ? I remember, I'm aware of it, but I'm not aware. I don't know what it's like.
I can't describe. I have vague memories of it, but it's a puzzle game.
Okay.
There's like in my mind, it occupies a very similar space as Mr. Domino, but not exactly like that.
To me, and it's just because of the letters in the name, but it occupies a similar space as Irritating Stick, which I'm like, hey, we should get that. Do a Kuro-in. Yeah.
There you go. Oh man.
A hyper-realistic.
Dan would be so happy.
Ray tracing.
So happy.
Yeah, Kuro with like realistic lighting. Oh my god, that would own actually.
Bet JC says it's not really a single game, but I'd love to see the comeback of brand-themed games like Burger King and such. Give me a AAA Burger King game. Damn it. Yeah, Sneak. Jeff, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point in our lifetimes they make a Sneak King 2.
Yes, I think that's like an ace card for some marketer somewhere. It's like, let's do it. We are gonna do it.
How expensive would it be to find some indie studio? Be like, you're gonna make Ace King 2 for us, and Ace King, Sneak King 2. It's gonna be great. Gigi64 says, give us a new Rocket Knight Konami. Also, give back Mike's copy of Sparkster. Nice guy. I mean, look, they made that new Rocket Knight on the Xbox 360, and it was fine. I don't know. I mean, they made even all the sequels to the original weren't quite as good as the original. So, Rocket Knight 1, one of my favorite 16-bit games. I don't necessarily need a new one unless like somebody who's like really passionate about it and had a lot of resources could do it. I'm very skeptical. Like, honestly, I'd rather see some really talented indie studio make like their Rocket Knight inspired game. Oh, didn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Konami who said they wanted indie studios to like mess around with some of their IP and nothing really happened with that?
I think they might have said that. Yeah, I think was it Namco that definitely did do that. I can't remember. I think a few publishers tried that. Yeah, but you're right. Nothing really happened with it.
Low Rule said, "We'd love to see another GTA top-down game who could capture the magic of Chinatown Wars and have modern gameplay advancements. It could be a big deal." I never played those Hotline Miami games. Does it scratch that kind of old school top-down GTA itch?
Yeah, sure, but there's like better examples of that, like American Fugitive, and obviously, I mean, like the Chinatown Wars is like fucking so good at that. But yeah, Hotline Miami is like sort of a bite-sized version of that. Sure.
Diego RP says, was just trying and failing miserably to beat Beautiful Joe. I kept thinking how fun it plays and sounds, though it's quite frustrating with some outdated tropes. Looking at you, Boss Rush. We'll to see it come back. Just so back in the day when the game first came out, I gave up at the boss rush, and now I'm playing through it again on my GameCube, on my streams. I'm getting pretty close to that boss rush again, I think. So, but yeah, they made Beautiful Joe, I just said Beautiful Jew.
Yeah, Beautiful Jew.
Beautiful Joe.
It's bar mitzvah. Ah.
Yeah, that's what they called MJF at his bar mitzvah with the WWE.
Welcome to my beautiful bar
Hooters
mitzvah.
Waitresses.
Look at this beautiful Jew. Oh.
Beautiful Jew too. That'd be great. I'd play that game.
Me too.
There's like a third one, the GameCube, that I think is a fighting game, and then they made a DS one, and I think that's it. They haven't like made a compilation or a new game or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame.
Jew
it's very fun.
Is what Joe Lieberman used to go as. That was his name.
Beautiful Jew. Henshin. What would they say instead of Henshin a Go Go?
Ban a game Go Go. There you go.
Moving on, Gerbear says Outrun the Arby's to Cruisin's White
I like
Castle.
that a lot.
Outrun's good. That new, like, they made Outrun 2 and kind of ported it to like Xboxes and stuff. That game is also very
There's
good.
a lot of good Outrun like sort of spin-offs and stuff. Yeah.
Pablo Cost says, "Can we get MVG to work on a new Biker Mice from Mars beat 'em up?" Wow, that'd be good. That'd be something.
Do you think do you think like even half of our audience knows who Joe Lieberman is at this point, or are we just kind of like making jokes for ourselves?
It might be just because of his involvement in the '90s, like video game.
Sure,
trial
maybe,
stuff.
maybe.
That's it though.
Yeah, okay.
They won't remember like he was a vice president running mate for somebody at some
Al
point,
Gore,
right?
yeah, Al Gore's running
so
mate,
they don't remember that, but who knows? Let's see here now. Mr. Bohr says, "I'm always cautious about trying to relive the magic of a game that was great in the past by trying to make a sequel many years later. So why not revise something thoroughly mediocre? Make a new Glover." Jeff, how dare he?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. How dare...
What are you doing? How did I lose you there?
I was approving the conversation. Someone said Lieberman killed the public option for healthcare, and so I was like,
Wow.
yes, approving that. Yes,
Your
you did do that.
multitasking skills, Jeff, ever so impressive.
Of course, I wasn't expecting you to be like, how dare he, and then just like, all right, now Jeff, your turn.
Now
to
Jeff's
like
turn
be
to
mad
talk.
at him for saying Glover.
I'm sorry, I didn't do my appropriate level of talking first to prepare you, to prep you.
Well, I'm
for
just
that.
like, no, yeah, you're right. How dare he, Glover, man? I played. You know what? The N64 version of Glover is pretty bad. The PlayStation version of Glover is an atrocity. It is so bad.
That's terrible.
It is messed up how bad that game is.
Yeah, it's awful. You ever see like there's like very early stuff of a Glover 2 that never came out? And you can, like,
yes, absolutely, yeah.
It's interesting. Nintendo Bro says this question gives off some serious Mega Man X vibes.
Mm-hmm.
They have not. It is kind of weird how they've not made a new Mega Man X yet.
How many did they do in how many years? They did 8 from 1992 is probably when Mega Man X came out. Then the last one was a PlayStation 2 game. So maybe like 2004-ish, we could say. So about let's say there's 12, 13 years of Mega Man X. Then they stopped. Turbo Stone says, dude, Glover fucks. And he jacks. It's a hand.
Yeah, that's right. He jacks or fingers or scissors, but he does not fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
He can't. He could do the face palm thing. He can do the pie face.
He can do a pie face,
faces.
Yep.
Okay. Fluffy Cloud Gamer says The Simpsons Hit and Run, a remake that might be hard to do, but I would love to see a more modern take on a chaotic Simpsons sandbox. Heck, maybe even a similar type of GTA, but cartoony game with a new IP. You say that, but the new IP, I hope you realize, is going to be Rick and Morty if they do that. There's a fan remake of this in the works that looks really cool, Jeff. So something to look at, Fluffy, if you haven't seen that. This is a game very high on my to get for GameCube list. I have somehow always missed this one.
It's great. It holds up, especially if you install some of the mods that you can do on Dolphin and stuff. But even
original hardware, Jeff.
I mean, that's okay. You do what you got to do. But I mean, they're doing some crazy stuff in that scene with that game, and it's pretty cool.
You're not really getting the experience unless you replace Homer's model with Shrek.
That's right, exactly. He gets it, everybody. All right.
I understand. The Uncharted Wolf 5 says, yet again, I can't answer the question because I secretly hate video games. JK, in actuality, I would love if the Jak and Daxter series came back. These games were the perfect mix between the fun 3D platforming and that mid-2000s Shadow the Hedgehog edginess that 9-year-old me thought was the coolest thing in the world. If Jak 4 were to happen, I wouldn't get Naughty Dog to do it, as they're not exactly the same team they used to be. Instead, I would love if Insomniac or Sucker Punch were to make my most wanted game. Jeff, what are the odds that Naughty Dog's next game is actually Jack and Daxter, and what are the odds that their next game is Last of Us Part 3?
Like, okay, yeah. If so, like 1% chance it's Jack and Daxter, and like 55% chance it's Last of Us 3.
All right. Do you think, like, is there a point where there's like a pushback, even like more so than just me and you being annoying?
Yeah.
If their next project is Last of Us Part 3, is there going to be even more people being like,
Yeah, I think there's diminishing returns on the third entry in any of those Sony franchises. Maybe more so God of War than Last of Us, because Last of Us is so much about the world and the characters. I mean, God of War definitely is also.
Well, God of War knew, because they already said this will be the last one of this, at least, storyline.
Yes, God of War, they know. And that's like a very bold, good move, I think, to be like, we can't do this 3 times. We do it twice, and then we go try something different. That is the right call.
Lossian says, I would love Final Fantasy Tactics to make a comeback. I know it's in the NVIDIA GeForce leak. I'm hoping. I mean, it seems like it's certainly coming at some point, huh?
Yeah.
Some point. They say some porn? What is wrong with me?
Some porn. I mean, that's true, too.
Some porn. Beautiful
Some porn
Jew.
is Final Fantasy Tactics.
Terra,
some porn of the beautiful Jew.
Yeah.
Wish I could make that the name of the podcast this week, but I'm not going to put beautiful Jew in there. No.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll fly, but it's great.
No, thanks. We get shadow banned.
Maybe we could just get a fan to make a good poster or something at least.
Exactly.
That'll be good. As hashtag free Rayman, hashtag Rayman lives. I mean, Rayman had. It's actually shocking that Rayman got his like maybe best games aside from Rayman 2, like in the 2010s. Who would have seen that coming? Like, the fact that we got Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins is almost a shock. So we almost got more than I ever thought we would, but it would still be nice to get even more.
Yep, it'd be nice to kind of go back to that but Ubisoft, and who knows.
Doc 7 says, a new Quake from the id Software Doom team could have a lot of potential. I am all about team. Let's get a new Quake. But I also want, that Quake 1 remaster. Very good. I want the Quake 2 remaster.
That's got to be happening.
It's got to be happening, and I'm going to be very excited for it. Turbo Sean says, using this opportunity to point out yet again that my boy Mega Man Volnut has been stuck on the moon for over 22 years, and by some metrics, even the pitch for and subsequent cancellation of Legends 3 could be considered retro now. Sure be cool if Capcom did something about that. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go cry in the corner, clutching my Darkstalkers games. Yeah. Man, that'd be cool if they made a new... Like, that's... the Capcom used to make a lot of fighting games. Now it's like they put all that energy just into Street Fighter. Like Street Fighter 6, they're making like the biggest fighting game ever, and it definitely works out. I wonder if they will ever be like, we are also going to make a new Power Stone or a new Rival Schools. It won't be on this level, but that'll be neat and you'll enjoy that. Or if it's just all Street Fighter all the time.
Evan in chat says, back in my day, nothing got remastered or remade. Lol. What is the earliest remaster you can think of, Mike? 'Cause for me, it's Super Mario All-Stars.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's that. I mean, there's ports of things, right? Like, there's that's different. Like, if you ported Pac-Man to Atari and sucked, and then you port to NES and it's better, that's not really a remaster. So those are just different ports of arcade or PC games. The first thing I can think of, like,
Pac-Man was basically a remaster, but they treated it like a sequel and stuff. I mean,
what it was basically a fan game. I mean, it was
right. It was built on top.
Kids.
Right, it was built on top of the old like board and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think in terms of like the way you think about it in like the modern way, something like Mario All-Stars, even in terms of like the marketing, because again, back then it was just, this is the Genesis version of an NES game. So yeah, of course it's like a little better, but we don't consider a remaster. Heck, it's like this weird, different developer even making it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Super Mario All-Stars kind of feels right
it
there.
Feels like the iconic version of this idea. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Next week's topic, since last week I forgot to say what the topic was going to be, we are going to talk about what Nintendo game reveal got you the most excited. We know there's going to be a direct later this month. We're just waiting for them to announce it. And Jeff, I can remember times when you were really excited. I can remember times I was really excited about Nintendo game reveals. So we can ask the community about that. I think it'll be fun.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Jeff, let's get to these super chats.
Okie doke. Let's see here from Steve Sullivan of a Pikmin 1+2 combo, or I think he means if a Pikmin 1+2 combo is released, do you see them implementing the motion controls like they did the Wii version, and could they add online? I think that they would probably keep the motion controls, but I think they would also just kind of take everything they did with Pikmin 3 Deluxe and apply that here, because that is the ideal way to play those games now. That was very good.
I got a copy of Pikmin 1 coming in for the GameCube. Is it like still play well in the GameCube? Am I being dumb for just not playing the Wii version?
No.
Fine.
It plays great. It plays just fine. But I think that you are very likely to bounce off of it because the Pikmin 3 Deluxe is just so much more streamlined and better with the controls. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Shubankar Parajat says, please play the annoying music again. We will play that when we are leaving. Okay, Christian can
The
come in.
sex music.
Yes, when we leave, Christian, come in here and play the sex music. Not yet, though.
Oh, he was going to do that anyways.
I know. I just figured I'd give him permission. David Cast, JRPGs, asks, tune in 9/14 at 2 p.m. Pacific time for... Okay, he just wants me to say this so he can... Okay, listen, this is... Alert, this is not me saying it. Now, this is where you cut it and trim me. Tune in 9/14 at 2 p.m. Pacific time for a Nintendo Direct live stream featuring a blowout of Zelda information. I did not say that. That was David Cast JRPGs.
Yeah. When he sent this in, I did go on Nintendo Twitter to make sure he wasn't just saying like, "Oh, they announced it." They did not.
No, they did not. Yeah. From Achievement, Mike, get yourself 2 of 4 for $10 and make sure there's a horsey sauce on it. And that is 2. And he puts a little RB sandwich thing here, emoticon. Also, while I have your attention, that Sonic Frontiers trailer today actually looked good.
I'm feeling so vindicated, Jeff. I always was defending this game. Now everyone's like, actually, it looks pretty fun. Yeah.
Oh
Achievement. I was actually responding when I posted I tweeted a picture of the Arby's 4 for $10 roast beef sandwiches. I was like, man, when I was a kid, these used to be 5 for $5. This is the only way I understand inflation. Yes. He said if I followed him, he would give me money for 2 4 for $10. So thank you. But I'm sorry, not a horsey sauce fan. Arby's sauce all the way.
From Steve Sullivan, does the GoldenEye remake on Switch have HD visuals and modern enhancements, or will we be getting a choppy N64 version with 4-player split screen? I think you will probably be getting, at the very least, the N64 version will be on NSO, I think. I don't know for sure. Maybe the HD version also comes to Switch separately in some other way, but I don't know. The honest answer to this question is I don't know. From Smooth Life, agree on Legends 2, but that SV map is huge.
The Scarlet Violet map.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, like the size of the map wasn't really what I liked about Arceus Legends. That map was big enough. I guess I wish it was interconnected better instead of like being those like 4 smaller biomes, right?
Yeah. From CM Wiener, what pastries pair what pastries pair well with lime spindrifts? I mean, listen, it's closed today because it's Tuesday. It's closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
That's right.
But Marie's Pastries, it's a bakery in Chicago. It pairs really well with lime spindrifts.
You should talk about the bakery after you just bury the absolute shit out of me and other
exactly.
your current coworkers.
I mean, the big problem is Mike makes me work with fucking pricks. That's the real problem. Yeah.
I'm tired, I'm hurt, I'm old, and I work with fucking children.
Yeah. EVPs that couldn't run a target. And he's just got a bag of these lime spindrifts too. And he's just ripping it open.
Just going at it, man. Yeah. I understand you're probably a thirsty, hungry boy after wrestling.
Sure, yeah.
But with everything else going on, there was like an old clip of like Matt Hardy eating grapes while not even renting. I don't know what it was. They just took a video of himself eating grapes a lot, and this is the new eating grapes to me. CM Punk destroying.
Why did Colt sue? Just give me the shortest version possible. Why did he sue CM Punk?
So when CM Punk had his falling out with WWE, like back in 2011 or whatever it was, maybe later than that, 2014, he went to Colt Cabana's podcast because they were friends, and he aired all of his grievances there, including he specifically criticized a WWE doctor for like misdiagnosing him. The doctor sued Punk. And like WWE wanted them to take down the podcast. Colt Cabana was like, oh, should we take it down? Punk said, no, don't take it down. I'll pay for your legal fees. Then legal fees got very expensive, and Punk didn't. I think he didn't want to anymore. Maybe it was past an agreement. It gets more complicated than that. So basically, Punk wanted to stop paying Colt Cabana's legal fees. Colt wanted him to keep paying, like he thought he said he was going to, and that's what their friendship destroying money dispute was about.
Sounds pleasant. From Guardtooth, hey Nintendogs, do you think we would ever get a remaster of Star Fox that isn't 64? If so, which one? Star Fox Adventures will eventually get a edited version, updated, and it's going to be Game of the Generation. Excuse me.
No, it won't.
The axiom: if you could kill any franchise, which one would it be? Okay, like the other ones don't go away, but you kill it for going forward. I mean, we already kind of answered this. The Last of Us, right? I mean, you just like keep it.
I almost feel bad saying it. We've been mean enough to us. I don't resent it. I don't want to resent it.
I don't think people that like The Last of Us would feel that bad about it. A lot of people are like, you don't have to do another one after the first game. And now you get these two games. They're kind of like just they pair fine together. And a lot of people don't like to for story reasons or whatever. But whatever. Now they can't mess it up further, or they can't, or you are probably already happy with those two games. But yeah,
I am otherwise struggling to think of a franchise that really irritates me just by its existence.
Yeah,
you know, right? So I don't know.
I'm very good at ignoring things.
I guess it's The Last of Us right now. Yeah.
All right, that does it for the super chats. I have it here in front of me, Mike. So I think that's going to go back to you now.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jeff, have you been playing anything specifically? You've been doing more of that Xenoblade life? Because I've been able to finally make some good progress, and I am actually really enjoying it. This is basically addressing all the issues I had with 1 and 2. It just feels like a better game all around, and it has a job system like that Final Fantasy 5 style job system that I always like in these kind of games. The characters seem much more just slightly mature, especially compared to what we got in freaking Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's been good stuff so far.
Yeah, I haven't been able to play it because I was off on Monday and I didn't do a stream, but I'm moving that stream till Friday because Jan's going to be off, so he can't do Sekiro Choa. So on Friday, I'm going to pick up that stream and I'm going to play a little bit more. I'm looking forward to it, and then I think I need to come up with a plan for something next week where I could play it for a longer period of time because I want to put in like a good 4 or 5 hours into it, although I might be doing another long stream soon. So we'll figure it out. Either way, I haven't played it since last Monday. I'm still really enjoying it and like thinking about it a lot and would like to get back to it. It seems like a good game. I'm having fun with the combat and like learning the characters. And what chapter are you on? Are you like past chapter 2? Because that's where I'm at right now.
I don't think I'm not past chapter 2. I'm not too far from the point where the characters have started to be able to use each other's classes. A little bit further than that.
Okay, that's about right where I'm at.
Okay, I just ran away from I just got attacked, and now I'm kind of running away and fighting people. I don't know if that happened. They were maybe in a big robot.
Fusion attacks, I think they're called.
Yes, I have fusion attacks.
Okay, that's like right where I'm at.
Okay. Then yeah, I think I finally have surpassed you, a weapon to surpass even Metal Gear.
Fair enough. It is a top 10 game of the year contender for me, I think, this year, based on what I've played so far. I think I'd have to play quite a bit more of it for it to actually lock into place on the top 10, but I could see that happening if I do, in fact, keep playing it and enjoying it.
What a nice redemption story. We shat on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so much, and I think I largely talked about how I wasn't looking forward to this game throughout the year.
Well, and I think in hindsight, I think your placement on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, while maybe a bit harsh, is probably right, and what most people need to hear when they're like, should I be playing these games? And you're sort of like, listen, I don't know, I played it and I finished it and I mostly forgot it, and things I do remember I don't like. I think that's probably a fair assessment based on what I've heard from many people, especially talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and how it makes so many improvements over 2, and it's so much more approachable and enjoyable. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm never going to try 2, everybody, just so we're clear on that.
Runs really well. It actually looks good.
Yes.
The very aging Switch hardware runs a lot better than Xenoblade 2 did. So that's kind of surprising and nice.
Yeah, some people in chat are like still like really like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. More power to you. We can't take that away from you.
I'll try though.
Yeah, we'll do our best. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is really clicking for me. So I'm like enjoying that we can be like have this Nintendo podcast and really enjoy what is one of the biggest Nintendo games of the year. Like that is good.
Part of me is almost like I wish I had like another month with this before Splatoon is dropping, because now I had to split my attention again. But that's fine. Yeah. In fact, you know, I bet just Splatoon and stuff I might be doing more on stream anyways.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's like a weird gaming habit, Jeff. Now that I like to stream more, I haven't been playing my Xbox Series X or my PlayStation 5 very much because I haven't been doing a whole lot of living room gaming recently.
Right, yeah.
If I'm going to play games, I may as well do it on stream and hang out with people and maybe let them give me money.
That's right. That's actually, I tried to set this up so I could like have the PlayStation Xbox over there and have that connected to the stream. But even then, it's like, it's so easy just to go get on Steam and start streaming something or anything on the PC from one system. So, yeah, I kind of hear that.
I'm always thinking about like maybe I need to get my other consoles in here and hook them up to the or have them close by my capture card, but I don't know.
I mean, if there's a game you neneeded to play on stream from a console, you would do it. Like, it's just right now there's enough to play on PC, and there's nothing stand out on console.
A lot of those games even come to PC. There's a code today. I was like, yeah, give me the PC version. Yeah. Jeff, something else I've been playing on my GameCubing, aside from Beautiful Joe, is this one that I just got. R Racing Revolution, a mostly forgotten Ridge Racer spin-off that was multi-platform in the GameCube generation. What's the pitch on this one? I kind of remember R Racing Revolution having like its own like concept about it, but more realistic, less arcadey, not as realistic as Gran Turismo, but not nearly...
like how Sonic R is more realistic too. I get it now, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you figured it out. But not nearly as drift dependent. Now it still has like some of those good Ridge Racer vibes. Like the soundtrack is a lot of fun. The menus are cool. And it's in this weird spot where because it's skirting the Gran Turismo, when you compare it to that game, it does not have nearly as much content. Now compared to a traditional Ridge Racer game, it's got a pretty good amount of content. So I've been enjoying. I'll tell you what feels good is the GameCube analog stick for acceleration in a racing game. Analog stick, I mean the analog trigger. That feels very good. It's like because there aren't a lot of celebrated racing games on the GameCube. Aside from like the more, cartoony Nintendo stuff like your Kirby Air Ride or your Mario Kart. But, Nintendo 64 had all these really well-liked racing games with actual cars in them.
Yeah.
And GameCube has there's some third-party stuff that shows up on there, like the Need for Speeds and like Burnout 2. Not Burnout 3, sadly. F-Zero GX also, TB Bucket, yeah. But in terms of like the realistic-ass racing games with real cars, it's not really known for that.
No, I think I had a... Need for Speed Underground GameCube disc just like floating around my vehicles for like 10 years. Like it was in one car and then I moved everything out of the car when I got a new one and it like came along and I would like occasionally find it in like the glove box or in the back on the trunk or whatever. And I have no idea. I think eventually I did just throw it out, but that's what I remember of GameCube racing games is that.
If I had reminded me, like it doesn't even say anything on this box, but I opened it up and it just also comes with the Pac-Man versus disc. I have three Pac-Man versus discs now because Bandai Namco just kind of threw it in with a bunch of stuff. Like Pac-Man World 2 comes with it. It's great.
It's fantastic. That's something we should try to stream.
Remember, because I remember it was like a oddly big deal. Like Shiggy played it on stage at that E3.
Well, I mean, it was like one of his initiatives, like connectivity was like a big thing at the time. We should like do like a walk down memory lane for that kind of stuff sometime. I don't know when, but maybe after like when things slow down again after the new year or something like that, we can come back with some stories like that. And be like, hey, like that maybe not failed, but just like interesting side concepts that Nintendo tried for a while that went away.
Did I show you that I picked this one up, Jeff?
You got it. There it is.
I got the Hobbit.
GameCube Bilbo Baggins.
There he is. Maybe we can stream this during
the toughest fucking Hobbit on the streets. GameCube Bilbo Baggins gonna murder a fool.
That's right. Look at him. He's tired. He's hurt. He's old, and he works with fucking children.
Fucking Frodo couldn't manage a target.
Frodo couldn't manage a fucking target. Call himself Ring Bearer. So I also got Shadow the Hedgehog, and I went to the store. I picked up all these GameCube games, and I meant to also get that Universal game I showed earlier, and I forgot. So I went back the next day, and when I was there the first time, they had Skies of Arcadia Legends, and it was very expensive. I was like, I'm not gonna get this right now. Then when I went back the next day, that brief spurt of willpower I had less me, Jeff. So, yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, I mean that's a good fun game.
Well, it's it's probably not gonna get cheaper, and it might be hard to find it in person again. It's like it's there now. I have Return of the King, Pablo. I have Return of the King. Me and Jeff can do some. Well, Jeff comes here. We could do a stream.
I'll come there. Yes, that would be. Together. I would love that. I love those games, so I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I have my original Soul Calibur 2 still. Wolf. It's actually in this case.
They did another one after Return of the King, right?
No. Well, there's Two Towers was the first one that was.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but
there's the Third Age, which is a JRPG. It's basically Final Fantasy X mechanics.
Really? Okay.
With, it's Lord of the Rings adjacent.
So I really liked Two Towers, and then I really liked Return of the King.
Right.
And I played those games. I love those. And then
they're very good.
And
they're very fun.
And then I remember the third one was coming out. I'm like, man, they're going back to that well again. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll check on it. And I never tried it.
No, that was an RPG. Yeah.
Okay, weird.
So you would not have liked it.
Fair enough.
But Jeff, anything else you want to talk about? Or are we done?
I mean, like I said, the Retroid Pocket 3. Been messing around with that, playing some old games. But mostly that's it. I've been when I guess Tinykin is on Switch.
So you're playing that.
I think it is on Switch, right? Everybody. I know it's on Game Pass and it's on Steam. That's where I've been playing it. But it is a really good Pikmin platformer sort of thing, and people should definitely be. It's on Switch. You should get it. People should. It's that simple. It is that good. It is that much fun. If you like platformers, it is one of the better platformers on Switch. Kind of period. And that's really impressive for it to come out of nowhere. And I think it's my favorite indie 3D platformer. Excuse me, that I've ever played.
Nice.
And so it's very good for exploration and finding all the nooks and crannies, and it fits really well with I think the Switch hardware in terms of what it's expecting from performance. So go for it. I really every time I'm like getting a chance to play a game, that's what I'm playing. So I haven't had much time for anything else.
All right, Jeff, I think that's going to do us for this week. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it. This was Last of the Nintendogs. Jeff and I will return on Thursday for Game Mess Decides. Hey, there's a new 90s Disney podcast about Planet Hollywood. Themed restaurants.
It's very good.
Stuff. Thank you, Jeff. So check that one out. Jeff, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I'm over at Giant Bomb. We got stuff happening this week. Tomorrow, I think after Game Mess Morning. So Game Mess Morning's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, right? Right after that, stick around. Jeff Backlar is playing Eternal Darkness, and I'm going to be sitting in with him on that, and we'll be having...
GameCube hidden gem.
That's a lot of fun, and we're doing similar stuff like that all week. We got Sonic 06 as well, if you're that kind of a freak.
The Sonic 06 stream was very good.
Yes, and we're going to be keeping more of that. We're going to do an or else part of that, where if he stops playing it, he has to pay a punishment, and we'll figure out what that's going to be.
Yes.
Looking
the
forward to that.
punishment should be he has to play Shadow the Hedgehog or something.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Don't forget we have to play that song, the sex song. You know, it sounds like that nonsense song that one guy who puts in all of his Nintendo games. It has no beat to
it. I'm gonna come. All right, bye, everybody.
Chris, that's the funniest thing you've ever done.
I'm ending the stream. Bye, everybody. See you next time.